The city never slept. Lagos was a noise that never stopped, car horns, street vendors, and life rushing faster than people could breathe. In a small one-room apartment in Agegunnel, Mama Ifeoma sat by a flickering kerosene lamp, sewing torn school uniforms. Her fingers trembled from exhaustion, but her eyes stayed steady. "As long as my children wear clean clothes," she always said, "they will never feel poor." She had 3 children, Chika, 15, Ebube, 11, and little Ada, only 6. Their father had disappeared 2 years earlier after losing his job and drowning his pride in alcohol. Since then, Mama became both father and mother, working in a market during the day and mending clothes at night. Every morning, she woke before dawn, tying her scarf as the muezzin's call echoed through the neighborhood. She would quietly look at her sleeping children and whisper, "God, just give me one more day of strength." Chika, the eldest, hated seeing her struggle. He was brilliant, always top of his class, but lately he'd been restless. He saw how his mother coughed when she thought they weren't looking, how her hands shook when counting money. "Mama, let me drop out and work," he said one evening. "You can't do this forever." Mama smiled softly. "My son, if you drop out, this suffering wins. I didn't come this far for you to end where I started." But life didn't listen to her prayers. One night, as heavy rain pounded the roof, Mama collapsed by her sewing machine. Ada screamed. Chika carried her through flooded streets to the nearest clinic. The nurse only shook her head. They needed a deposit before treatment. "She's not breathing well," Chika shouted, tears mixing with rain. But no one moved. By morning, Mama was gone. In the drawer beside her bed, they found a letter sealed with trembling handwriting. Chika opened it with shaking fingers. It read, "My children, asterisk. If you are reading this, it means I couldn't hold on any longer. Don't cry too much. Tears never paid school fees. Chika, be strong for your brother and sister. Never think you are alone. The world may not be kind, but you must never lose your kindness. Ebube, read your books. You are your mother's pride. Ada, my baby, don't forget my songs. Forgive your father. People break when life becomes too heavy. I broke too, but I tried to keep smiling for you. One day, when you have enough, help someone who reminds you of me. That's how you'll know I never really left. With love, always Mama." Chika folded the letter and held it to his chest, sobbing until the paper was soaked. The neighbors buried Mama under the mango tree behind the old church. Chika swore to never let her dream die. He worked at a mechanic shop by day and attended school by night. But the city was harsh. Hunger made him weak, and landlords don't wait for dreams. 2 years later, he left school completely and began hustling full-time. His siblings grew quieter. Ada stopped singing. Ebube stopped smiling. The family's warmth dimmed like the old kerosene lamp Mama used to sew under. Then one day, Chika got a job offer from a man who promised quick money. Out of desperation, he accepted. That night, police raided the building. It was a drug house. Chika was arrested with the rest. In prison, he wrote one letter, not to the judge, not to his lawyer, but to Mama. "Mama asterisk. You told me not to lose kindness, but I lost my way. I wanted to give them a better life. Now Ada and Ebube are alone again. If there's a heaven, please tell God to look after them. I miss you." Months later, when he finally came home after serving his sentence, their small room was empty. Ebube had been taken in by an aunt in the village. Ada had fallen sick and passed away. Chika sat on the same wooden stool where Mama once sewed and held her last letter again. He whispered, "I'm sorry, Mama, I tried." Outside, the city roared as usual, loud, busy, uncaring. But inside that small room, only silence remained. Years later, neighbors said they sometimes heard a woman's hum at night, the same lullaby Mama used to sing when the world was falling apart. They said love never really dies.